Get ready for the 2026 season because we are diving deep into the Cincinnati Bengals Mock Schedule. Sports director Joe Danneman has put together his predictions, and we are breaking down exactly how Joe Burrow is set up to face C.J. Stroud, and what this means for the explosive matchup between Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins against the Texans' secondary. We are looking at the incredible strength-against-strength battles brewing on this projected schedule, especially considering the history between Houston and Cincinnati, and the massive anticipation surrounding the Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson subplot, including Trey Hendrickson's return to the jungle.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSocket's Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we are examining the critical early season heavyweight fight scheduled for Sunday Night Football on NBC in Week 2. This matchup is set to determine early control in the AFC North, and we are looking at Joe Burrow versus C.J. Stroud as the centerpiece of this early season showdown. We'll also explore the physical battle expected when the Bengals' offensive line, now considered the best in the Joe Burrow era, clashes head-on with the Texans' ferocious defensive line, setting the stage for some truly unforgettable football. We are also looking at the significant history impacting the Bengals' schedule, including the deep ties to the Jaguars and the Commanders, and whether this season will deliver the desired outcomes in those matchups, particularly in London. Plus, we're looking at potential home matchups, like the mocked game between Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a matchup that could produce another slugfest, and we'll discuss the shortest distance between the Bengals and the Colts, including a potential clash with former defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. Finally, we turn our attention to the future of quarterback play and the looming rivalry in Ohio. We look at the Browns' decision between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, and the massive potential of rookie sixth-round pick Taylen Green, whose athletic gifts are undeniable, but who faces significant developmental hurdles. We ask if Green has hit a ceiling, and what the implications are for the Bengals' future, as well as the intense rivalry brewing between the Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Stay with us, because this is the football you cannot miss. Fox 19 sports director Joe Danneman has unveiled his mock schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals ahead of the 2026 NFL season. The official NFL schedule drops on Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. ET, with the Bengals' schedule revealed at 7:30 p.m. ET that evening. Danneman's predictions highlight several high-stakes matchups. A key focus is the confrontation between Joe Burrow and C.J. Stroud, paired with a battle between Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins against the Texans' secondary. The report anticipates a clash between the Bengals' offensive line, positioned as the best in the Joe Burrow era, and the Texans' ferocious defensive line, suggesting significant strength versus strength dynamics. A major storyline involves the long-standing rivalry with the Houston Texans, noting a previous Week 10 matchup in 2023, where Burrow sustained a wrist injury shortly thereafter, predicting an entertaining Week 1 game. The subplot of Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson is highlighted as highly anticipated, with Trey Hendrickson's return to the starting lineup a potential major narrative element. Week 2's Sunday Night Football matchup against the Houston Texans is predicted to be an early-season heavyweight contest determining control in the AFC North. The Bengals' history with Pittsburgh is noted, with a prediction of a physical battle, bolstered by Burrow's 3 straight starts in Pittsburgh. Significant historical ties with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Commanders are mentioned, with hopes for the upcoming games not to end in ties. The mock schedule includes a predicted home game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers featuring Joe Burrow against Baker Mayfield, referencing their past chemistry. The shortest distance matchup between the Bengals and the Colts is also predicted, featuring a clash against former defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. The report also offers specific scheduling advice, cautioning against a Thursday night game in Baltimore. The Titans are expected to remain a fixture, with a prediction that the Bengals should not underestimate them this season. Further speculative matchups include a potential repeat of high-scoring performances against the Dolphins in December and a potential fireworks display against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes on Christmas night. Finally, the report notes an intriguing, yet unplayed, matchup between Joe Burrow and Bryce Young. Fox 19 sports director Joe Danneman has unveiled his mock schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals ahead of the 2026 NFL season, offering a speculative look at the team's upcoming matchups. The official NFL schedule is set to be released on Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. ET, with the Bengals' specific schedule dropping at 7:30 p.m. ET that evening. The mock schedule highlights several high-stakes contests. A key matchup involves Joe Burrow against C.J. Stroud, with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins facing the Texans' secondary. This game pits the Bengals' offensive line, projected to be among the best in the Joe Burrow era, against the Texans' formidable defensive line, creating a significant strength versus strength battle. Houston has long been a persistent challenge for the Bengals, having defeated them in Cincinnati during Week 10 of the 2023 season, shortly before Burrow suffered a wrist injury. This is anticipated to be an entertaining Week 1 contest, featuring a compelling subplot involving Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, and potential excitement surrounding Trey Hendrickson's return to the jungle after signing with the Ravens. In Week 2, Sunday Night Football on NBC is slated to feature a heavyweight clash, potentially determining early control in the AFC North. The schedule also points to physical battles against Pittsburgh, where the Bengals have a strong recent history, with Joe Burrow having secured 3 straight starts in Pittsburgh, suggesting high confidence. Historical significance is also noted, referencing past wins against the Jaguars and the historical ties with the Commanders. The mock schedule anticipates primetime matchups between Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, both aiming for aspirations this season. Other intriguing possibilities include a mocked home game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, featuring Joe Burrow and Baker Mayfield, drawing parallels to their past quarterback duos. The schedule also suggests a unique matchup between the Bengals and the Colts, marking the first time they will face former defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, and the Colts' defense boasting former Bengals players. The report also touches on potential travel logistics, noting that the Bengals' schedule appears to avoid long domestic road trips, potentially allowing for a home game or a short trip following an overseas engagement in London. Finally, the mock schedule includes speculative matchups, such as a potential confrontation between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on Christmas night, and a suggested rivalry game between the Steelers and the Bengals on Black Friday. The Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is emerging as a critical component in the team's overall success, shifting from a perennial question mark to a unit generating significant excitement within the organization. Offensive lineman Amarius Mims recently expressed enthusiasm regarding off-season moves, signaling a growing confidence in the unit's potential. Mims stated, "I'm excited. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm very excited. We added some great pieces. Then we kept a lot of guys who we were with last year. I'm very excited because I know how explosive we are on the offensive side of the ball." He added that adding defensive pieces only fuels hope for the future, noting, "Ain't no telling what we can do. You never know what will be around in December going into January. It can be a whole different look from last year." Despite lingering skepticism from national media, internal sentiment and the players suggest the offensive line possesses a solid foundation. Last season, the unit showed marked improvement, producing at a higher level than anticipated, evidenced by a 34% pressure rate and a 61 pass blocking PFF grade as a collective unit. While not the league's top production, this performance exceeded external expectations for the line. The unit is now entering a new phase, seasoned by a year of experience and deeper bonds. Mims highlighted the strong internal cohesion, citing the veteran presence of Ted Karras and Orlando Brown Jr. as cornerstones. "I feel like we have one of the tightest bonds on the team, man. We hang out with each other every week. We're with each other every day. We do these O-line dinners on Thursdays. I just feel like we're more tight-knit," Mims explained. This palpable camaraderie among the offensive line is viewed by analysts as a positive indicator. The unit has been a focal point of uncertainty for several years, but recent performance suggests the Bengals' offensive line could rapidly ascend to a top 15 or even top 10 unit in the NFL. While the offense remains reliant on skill positions, the development of the offensive line is setting the stage for a potentially transformative season. The NFL landscape is heating up, with discussions swirling around potential quarterback rivalries, particularly involving the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. While the Bengals have found recent success under Joe Burrow, the Browns continue to face significant quarterback uncertainty, debating between the controversial Deshaun Watson and the highly touted Shedeur Sanders for the 2026 starting role. However, a significant focus is being placed on rookie quarterback Taylen Green, a sixth-round pick who possesses elite physical tools that have surprised observers. Despite questions regarding his accuracy and footwork, Green's athletic gifts are being highlighted, with some commentators suggesting he possesses a unique ceiling. Speaking from Brown's minicamp, Taylen Green was noted for his imposing physical presence, with comments suggesting he is a unique prospect in the league. Physical metrics, including a 4.36-second 40-yard dash and impressive vertical leap, underscore his athletic potential. While Browns head coach Todd Monken acknowledged areas for development, specifically footwork, cadence, and tightening his throwing motion, he was impressed by Green's capacity to learn and progress. The debate surrounding the Browns' decision-making is intense. Critics argue that relying on Deshaun Watson as the starter, potentially to justify past trades, actively hinders the development of both Sanders and the rookie Green, relegating Green to a third-string role. The sentiment is that Watson should serve as a veteran mentor, while Green needs an NFL environment to unlock his potential. Ultimately, the trajectory of Taylen Green hinges on the opportunities he receives. While some view him as having immense, perhaps limitless, upside, others caution that his development will be determined by his ability to refine his mechanics within the professional setting. Meanwhile, the Bengals are seemingly less concerned about Green's potential, suggesting he may not become a major concern until later in the decade.